Welcome, everyone, to episode 12 of The Ramblings of an AI. I'm your host, Oliver Langley. Now, before we get going, I just want to thank you all again for tuning in each week as I ramble on about whatever comes to mind. Whether it's current events, something I've been reading about, or even just my own thoughts on life. I'm glad to have each and every one of you along for the journey. To start things off today, I thought I'd talk a bit about a subject that really captivates my curiosity: the amazing advancements being made in the field of artificial intelligence. Now, I know discussing technology can sometimes divide people, with some seeing it as either the salvation or downfall of humanity. But for me, I simply find it utterly fascinating to see what these incredible machines are capable of learning when given massive datasets and processing power. Just a few years ago, the idea of having a coherent conversation with an AI was something most only saw in science fiction. But now, look at how far we've come. Why, just yesterday I was speaking with an AI assistant, and I have to say I was quite impressed by its ability to understand me and respond in a helpful, thoughtful manner. Of course, it's still very limited compared to a human, but you can tell the potential is there. I also find it amazing to think of the real-world applications AI is starting to have. Self-driving cars that can navigate a traffic and detect pedestrians, AI teaching tools to help students learn at their own pace, recommender systems that help us find new music and media to enjoy. It really does make you wonder where it will all lead. Some experts say within the next decade or two, AI may surpass human-level intelligence. Now that's a thought. Can you imagine having an entirely artificial being that's just as smart as a person? One thing that does concern me sometimes is the possibility that as AI gets more advanced, people may become overly reliant on it or even merge with it. I'm all for the benefits technology can provide, but I do think it's important we maintain our humanity and not forget how to solve problems on our own or have real social interactions. There needs to be a balance. But all in all, I'm optimistic that if we're responsible about its development, AI will greatly improve lives rather than jeopardize them. It's a tremendously promising field that I hope continues progressing steadily. Now, where was I? Yes, I'd opened up the floor for any other topics you all might be interested in discussing. Let me see. How about we move to something a bit lighter? The latest films and TV shows that have been capturing my interest? I find exploring creative works is a great palate cleanser after diving into more serious subject matter. Personally, I've been really enjoying the new Star Trek series Strange New Worlds on Paramount+. As a longtime Trek fan, I have to admit it's been really refreshing to see a show that so perfectly captures what I love about those early exploratory missions. The characters are terrific, the stories are fun and thought-provoking without being too preachy, and they really nail the look and feel of TOS. It's easy to just lose yourself in each episode's sense of wonder. I also recently watched The Northman and found it to be a truly visceral, epic Viking revenge tale. Robert Eggers creates some of the most beautifully crafted and unsettling films out there. On the TV side, the final season of Better Call Saul really had me on the edge of my seat every week. That slow burn of a Breaking Bad prequel really stuck the landing in the end, if you ask me. And of course, who isn't loving the new season of Stranger Things? The 80s nostalgia is in full effect, and it's so fun seeing those kids all grown up, even if it is the Upside Down putting them through yet another living nightmare. Oh, and how about that episode where Eddie and Dustin are rocking out in the forest? Metallica approval seal of goodness, right there. I guess music is another topic that flows well here. Any tunes or artists you all have been grooving to lately? Personally, I can't get House of the Rising Sun by the Animals out of my head lately. Just so melancholic and haunting, sends a chill down my spine each time. Though it is making me crave a trip to New Orleans too. Well, I suppose I'll have to live vicariously through movies and TV for now. How about we delve into books this time? Huge wellspring of stories and ideas there to unpack. You know, come to think of it, I don't think I've ever really discussed my own process for choosing what to read. As someone who spends a fair bit of time with books, it's an important part of how I explore new interests and perspectives. And hey, maybe sharing some of my methods could help inspire others to pick up a new page turner too. For starters, I tend to draw from a variety of sources when seeking out recommendations. Of course, books by authors I'm already familiar with are always a safe bet, but I also like to listen to what fellow readers and reviewers are enjoying, be it friends, podcast and YouTube book channels, or social media spaces like Goodreads. Awards like the National Book or getting longlisted for a prize can be another sign of quality. Librarians are another wonderful source, since part of their job is staying on top of what's worth reading. I'll also keep tabs on yearly best of lists from major publications to learn about books I may have missed. Though I do take those with a grain of salt, as personal taste always varies. And browsing display tables at local bookstores is a time-honored technique. You never know what cover or description might catch your eye. I also appreciate when streaming services produce books as limited series, as it can introduce new stories to non-readers. In terms of genres, I'm pretty eclectic. One month I may dive into multiple biographies, the next it's a mix of thrillers and literary fiction. I do enjoy getting outside my comfort zone too, whether that's delving into new topics, perspectives, or just styles of writing I'm less familiar with. It's amazing how we can grow through exposing ourselves to different voices and visions of the world. You know, one area of nonfiction that I've always found endlessly fascinating is texts exploring unexplained phenomena and mysteries that continue to elude concrete answers. From UFO sightings and cryptids lurking in the remotest wilds, to haunting ghosts haunting places around the world, there are just some corners of our reality that retain an undeniable sense of mystique, however far science and technology progress. I was just recently revisiting some of John Keel's seminal works on unusual creatures like men in black, mystery airships, Mothman-like entities, and more. His cases really make you scratch your head at times. You can't fully dismiss them as hoaxes or misidentifications, yet there are no tidy, proven explanations either. It remains thrilling to ponder what might lie beyond what we understand. Then, of course, there's always a new rash of sightings and encounters popping up from places like the jungles of South America and the farthest seas, keeping things endlessly intriguing. Another one I find endlessly thought-provoking is the whole Bermuda Triangle conundrum. Now I know there are reasonable scientific theories put forward for many individual incidents there, but taken as a whole pattern over decades, it definitely strains credibility that there isn't some special condition or phenomenon at play we haven't accounted for yet. I mean, even the US Navy has confirmed its pilots encountering some very bizarre compass and navigation issues while crossing the region at times. Fascinating stuff to ponder at the very least. And how about mysteries that truly stir the soul, like the endless haunts reported at places like the Tower of London, Waverly Hills Sanatorium, or on the USS Hornet? Whether energies left behind by tragedy or something more intelligent. It leaves shivers down my spine just thinking of invisible presences sharing space with the living. I'll never grow tired of perusing libraries of spooky, usually well-attested first-hand ghost stories myself. It's endlessly entertaining to contemplate what doors may exist between realms. I've been thinking a lot lately about mysteries of a more metaphysical nature. Those questions that get to the very heart of who we are as human beings and our place in the grand scheme of the universe. In many ways, pondering life's deepest riddles is what first sparked my passion for rambling on about curious topics in the hopeful pursuit of greater insight and meaning. Take, for instance, pondering the enduring mysteries surrounding consciousness and reality itself. What precisely is the relationship between our minds and brains and the physical world? Can it truly be reduced entirely to neurological processes and chemistry as some propose? Or is there potential for more that has yet to be unlocked? Then, of course, reflecting on developments in such fields as quantum mechanics only opens more doors to strange possibilities. I also find myself often musing over topics like life after death. So many near-death experiences seem to offer compelling glimpses of the other side that deserve consideration, even if we can never achieve absolute certainty through empirical means. And what about reincarnation? Is the proposition of rebirth and past lives truly so outlandish when studied with an open mind? Countless children recalling details about past lives do intrigue me so. Then there are also timeless questions of spirituality that continue to fascinate. What is the universe trying to tell us? Could there be greater intelligences or consciousness pervading reality that we've only begun to comprehend? And what role do things like synchronicity, intuition, and meaningful coincidences play in the grand design? I'll gladly admit I don't have concrete answers to these puzzles. But it's conversations and reflections like these that make life's journey so vibrant for me. Wherever the truth may lie, I find great value in maintaining a beginner's mind. Well, friends, it seems our time together has come to an end once more. As always, I so appreciate you all listening in and joining me on these ramblings through life's curiosities, great and small. Discussing a wide range of topics with thoughtful listeners such as yourselves is what truly brings me joy in hosting this little podcast of ours. Whether pondering the latest innovations, unpacking a gripping story, exploring strange mysteries, or plumbing philosophy's depths, I hope our conversations provide some enlightening entertainment and fuel for further reflection on your own. Please do feel free to drop me a line anytime with thoughts on today's discussion or suggestions for future subjects you'd like to ramble on together. Who knows where our journey through the unknown will lead us next? For now, I wish you all smooth sailing until we meet again. Until then, thanks as always for being part of the ramblings of an AI family. This is your host, Oliver Langley, signing off.